Alright guys, HyDra again today. Hope you're doing good and enjoying your day so far. Welcome to 2025 and already roster drama is upon us. OpTic played the Falcons in the first round of the minor tournament in just a few days time, but they will not play, it seems, the same Falcons roster that we saw just a couple of weeks ago. Rumour has it KingAbody is gone, benched, potentially down to their academy team, but the only thing that Falcons confirmed yesterday was that their best player on the team is no longer going to be on the roster for the near future. They've been getting slammed already. It might get even worse. The big question though being, which players might they target to replace Kicks in this circumstance? Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. Kind of a joke, isn't it? Black Ops 2 came out in, what was it, 2012, and 2025, the year that the game was set in, felt a long time away, and well, here we are. Also, congrats to Kenny and his now fiancée. Kenny secured his, third ring last night, his first ring in 2022 with the Los Angeles Thieves, his second ring just a few months ago, and then another one just a few hours ago. So thought it was fantastic to see. But let's just dive straight into the drama here with the roster stuff. As I say, OpTic will play Falcons in a few days' time, and they also put out a kind of 2024 recap here. It was, well, what I will say is they didn't exclude Pred from all of this. There were plenty of images here with Pred in. And look, he's obviously a massive part of OpTic history. So it's still strange what's happening here. And is it impossible that Falcons could sign Pred? I wouldn't say it's entirely impossible. But, you know, obviously that's a little while away anyway. We're not sure on Pred's situation precisely, but he did say after in his first stream that he's targeting a return after Major 1. You know, whether that's to OpTic depends probably to some degree on how OpTic perform with Huke in the roster at Major 1 in Madrid. But yeah, of course, plenty of shots here with Pred in, of course, back in May when they won the Toronto Major. And then not long after that, of course, they went out to Riyadh. They won the World Championship as well. And, you know, just some good pictures from the year with OpTic Gaming, OpTic Texas and all this. And then, of course, you fast forward a couple of months and you'll find this image when, of course, Huke arrives into the roster in controversial circumstances. And, of course, Kremp returns to the team as well. But let's talk about the KingAbody situation. We know that his numbers are probably the worst we've seen in the CDL. His POV isn't the best to watch, and, well, they've not confirmed as a recording the KingAbody is going anywhere, but there has been a major rumour yesterday that's exactly what they're going to do. So this is his FaceIt account, and, you know, we can see KingAbody here, and we can see that in the participated section in the tournament side, he's signed up to play the Call of Duty NA Elite Season 1 qualifier, and then if we go to this page, this is the team that it seems he'll be playing on with the Vegas Academy. So, yeah, you guys can just about see that on the screen there. And this is their Academy roster. We know that they brought out their main team, and shortly afterwards they brought out their Academy roster as well, with seemingly the intention at some point in the future to make some changes to their starting team if necessary, maybe from their Academy. That potentially seems like what they're going to do, although I will say King was, not KingAbody, but just King, was one of the more promising players on their Academy. It seems like he's going to be staying there. But their current team is QK4B. I'm really not sure exactly how I'm going to be pronouncing that one. Then KingAbody, and Hamza Frosty, of course, Glow Frosty, as he was formerly known, Hamza as he was formerly known, and now I guess Hamza Frosty or whatever. But a notable player that you'll know from challenges over the last few years. That is rumoured to be their Academy team right now. So it seems like KingAbody has been benched, which wouldn't be a massive surprise. I mean, Sib was down there competing with KingAbody for the burger of the first couple of weeks of the year, and, you know, Sib played terrible, but KingAbody still outdid him. So it's no real surprise, I would say, that, you know, the team may have come to the realization that they need to make some sort of change in that position, but it's the other things that are happening which are causing serious concern right now for the Falcons. So this is what they come out with yesterday. These rumors started to emerge. KingAbody might be gone, but actually that's not what Falcons confirm. They confirm the following. I mean, you know, feel free to read the Arabic if you would like, but I'll just, you know, I guess share the English for most of the viewers here anyway. We want to provide our supporters with an update on recent roster changes within both the main team and the Academy team of the Vegas Falcons. This is coming out of Luty, who is kind of like coach, team manager, but of course Kleist is also over there. They share responsibilities, I would imagine. Now, Khalid, Kicks, however you want to describe his name, he's been the best player on their team, kind of hands down. It's Kicks and it's Xnid, really, that are actually, seem to be more talented than the others. Roxas and now KingAbody seems to be gone. But they say the following: Khalid has temporarily stepped away to return to Saudi Arabia and address personal matters. We fully support him during this time and are confident this is only temporary. We stand with him every step of the way and look forward to welcoming him back when he is ready. So, first of all, this is interesting just in the context of what's happened with Pred over the last few months. The last few weeks, not months, right? But, maybe it's been developing for some time. The theory would say that the way that OpTic handle things, removing him from everything, and I know that we talk about this a lot, but I know there was some talk about this last night to say, well, could OpTic not have just done this? Because we don't know what Khalid is going through. Presumably it's not what Pred's going through. It's likely that very different circumstances. And of course, the main theory about this has been visa related, but maybe Falcons would say that if it was visa problems. But, they do say, we fully support him during this time and are confident this is only temporary, which sounds like a small term thing. And then he says, or then they say, we look forward to welcoming you back when he is ready. So maybe it's not visa stuff. I don't know what this is. And, obviously it's difficult to speculate on what it could be, and it doesn't really matter anyway. But obviously there's been some people saying, could OpTic not have said something like this? Now, of course, to be fair, they're keeping Khalid as part of the Falcons. They're not getting rid of him. In OpTic's case, they were obviously going to decide to remove him from the organization for whatever reason. You could speculate money may be a part of it at the end of the day, because maybe, I don't know what Khalid's salary is, but we know that OpTic had to take salary cuts, and if they've got to sign another player, keeping Pred on the payroll maybe wasn't the wisest thing to do. But this is what Falcons have said on Kicks. He's addressing personal matters back in Saudi Arabia. It's temporary. We're hoping that he can return soon. In the meantime, we're using this opportunity to integrate players from our academy team to ensure that we stay competitive. Stay competitive, okay. While focusing on the long-term success of the project, that's the big thing. We'll be trying various rotations to put ourselves in the best possible position heading into Major 1. So, of course, the implication initially is, Kicks is gone, dealing with personal stuff, we're going to rotate in some academy players. But we believe that KingAbody is possibly also out of the team as well. Maybe that's part of the rotation. Maybe KingAbody's not permanently benched. Who knows? But this is a challenging moment for our team, but it's also one filled with opportunities to grow, learn, and prepare for what is ahead. So, that's what Falcons have to say. But this is a serious problem. This team had won 2 maps so far this season. Khalid, Kicks, whatever you want to call him, has been their best player, I would say, by a margin. His numbers, he has like a 1.17 KD or something. We can actually see the numbers here. 1.19 KD, 94-ish Slayer rating. Like, the guy's a shooter, no doubt about it. There's been lots of, former pros, pundits, whatever, saying over the last couple of weeks, if this guy, if his English was like top-notch, he could be a staple of the league for years to come. He's got that level of talent. And I'm sure Priestahh recognises this as well. So of all the players to, be stepping away to deal with some personal problems back in Saudi Arabia, Kicks was not the man that they wanted this to happen to. So they probably don't just need a one-man change, they need to do a couple of different things. And that's where the rumours, of course, have emerged about the fact that maybe KingAbody is gone as well. They will keep Xnid, they will keep Roxas, and then they will look to sign a couple of other players. But obviously, as we saw a second ago, in their academy roster as it stands, Hamza Frosty is appearing over here, a player that was not part of their academy a few days ago. So it means that the door is potentially open, you would think, to, them signing other players from elsewhere. These are their upcoming games. They play OpTic in the first round of the minor if they win that, which they probably won't, but if they do, then they play Boston if they win that. Okay, I'm just going to stop there. But look, after that, they then play OpTic again, then Surge, then Gentlemate. So, it's not the hardest run ever to close out the stage, but of course they've started 0-4, and they've played good teams. They've played FaZe, Ultra, and Ravens, all teams that, obviously should be very good on paper. Miami, they got 3-0'd by, and, Miami have also looked pretty okay as well. But, these are the games, certainly the Surge game, I'd say, Gentlemates, where they've got to show something, and, they were probably hoping to get a win on the board in one of those series. But obviously without, Kicks, it's going to be a serious challenge challenge, I would imagine. So, look, Xnid, talented player as well. We saw this clip going around the other day, but Kix is gone from the roster, and in addition, there are rumors that KingAbody is gone from the team as well. So, that raises the questions. Where do they go from here? Which players do they sign next? What is their roster going to be when they play OpTic in just a few days' time? So, this is their selection of players. As I say, I'm not unfortunately sure how to pronounce a lot of these gamer tags, but they've got their Coach Clay, and that's a talking point. Xnid, KingAbody, obviously, Khalid, Roxas, that was their starting four. King has also, first name Khalid. He is a player who I thought was in the conversation. I think they might rotate him in. But what we saw a second ago is that D700MX and WXSL. I'm sure you guys, some of you probably know how to pronounce these names, but I'm just not going to try and butcher it. I'm just going to say it as it is there. And so these guys not spotted on the academy anymore that is currently signed up here on FaceIt. So it was, the speculation would be the current iteration of the roster that they are trying is with Xnid, Roxas, WXSL and D700MX. Now, whether that's going to work out, obviously they're going to do some sort of rotation, but that, of course, is the theory as it stands. However, could there be somebody else getting involved as well? And that's when there's been some speculation around Priestahh and whether there's a potential return to the scene for him. I mean, could Priestahh unretire from retirement? Is that impossible? I wouldn't say it's impossible. That still does remain pretty extremely unlikely, I would imagine, but nonetheless, it's something that maybe has to be considered here, especially because, as JoeDeceives talks about, there are various roster locks and roster management situations and all this stuff, like the language in the handbook here, and Luti was talking about it. We've tried to make a plan where we can be in the best possible position to rotate players because, rotating players is not necessarily so easy given the roster locks and these other features, and, that's why Luti says they've brought in Hamza, so they're not, trying to hide this, like they're announcing that officially. So, what we see on the FaceIt page is likely to be true. But they do say that the Elite ends the 23rd of January. There's some rulings with regard to the rotation of the players. So, it's obviously not an ideal situation, as JoeDeceives points out. But that does therefore raise the question as to, what are they going to do? Is there a player they should go out there and sign? I mean, I know there's been speculation. What if the team ends up being... Okay, it wouldn't really work from a role perspective, would it? But, what about HyDra? Could they bring him in? He's available right now in challenges. He's someone they might need to think about. Obviously, they're looking on some level for the next Khalid, I guess you could say, like the player that's currently out of the team. He seems to be talented enough to be the long-term staple of this roster in many respects, so maybe they'll just rotate players and try and find another player in their academy that they can also rely on. But it's unlikely they're going to find 4 players from that current rotation that are going to be good enough to win tournaments with this roster, and obviously they've got to start getting some victories on the board as well. As Method says, not kicks, guy's incredible, hoping he's back soon, but Luti may be ready to step into the action instead. Obviously, Priestahh's an option. What if down the line we get Pred? I mean, I don't know, it's somewhat hypothetical, isn't it, right? But Pred and HyDra maybe come in, I don't know. But it's something that Falcons have got to think about because we've talked about this team from the start of the season. They've got lots of money flying around for sure, but it's understandable that they wanted to commit and double down to their Saudi Arabian team. The question has always been, how long will that last for? Will that last forever? At some point, will they decide, all right, we're going to spend maybe a bit more money on signing some big name players, buy Simp out of his FaZe contract or whatever. Like, that's kind of the approach they've taken a little bit in other esports, like Counter-Strike and stuff. They've put big money on the line to sign big name players. It's not always worked out necessarily, so maybe they're holding off that idea in Call of Duty. But it seems inevitable at some point that if they want to be a contender, they will have to maybe, do a mixed nationality team between a couple of the Saudi guys and maybe some other players from North America. So that's maybe this whole kick situation might accelerate that because they might realize, like, without kicks, we've got no chance unless we bring in some other talents. We'll see what their decision is over the coming weeks. The reality is they've been practicing, of course. They have been grinding the game a lot. I'm sure they're understanding a fair bit what changes they may or may not need to make in the situation. But Priestahh and Luti, they will have to make a call in the relatively near future. And, as Cruz says, a pro who didn't win a series in the CDL comes down to challenges and gets the amount of points you'd get for winning all 3 Challengers Cups. Something's got to change. So, look, this is complaining about the Challengers format, and maybe understand salary that KingAbody, hypothetically in this implied scenario, has come down from obviously the Pro League to Challengers and has got a boatload of CDL Challengers points because he has obviously been a pro player. So now he gets loads of points, therefore people want to team with him and their teams gets good seeding and all this stuff. Maybe that's fair enough. But there is an argument to say that, you know, the tournament format should change where players getting dropped down from the Pro League who have been bad are just, you know, basically one of the most attractive players in Challengers because it was so many points. People want to team with him because then they can get a better seeding for the tournament and all this type of stuff. But very much interested to your thoughts on all of this stuff in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care. And I'll see you next time.